Further action against Russia, more diplomacy between nations, but the conflict on the ground in Ukraine intensifies. President Joe Biden has reassured Ukraine of his support and promised more funding. And in an address to the nation, President Zelensky has urged Ukrainians not to retreat. These are the latest developments. Visa and MasterCard have suspended operations in Russia. Credit and debit cards issued by Russian banks will no longer work outside the country. Meanwhile, in a 30-minute phone call with President Zelensky last night, Joe Biden reiterated his commitment to provide security, humanitarian and economic assistance to Ukraine. While here in the UK, Boris Johnson has unveiled a 6-point plan that he hopes world leaders will follow to ensure Russia fails in its invasion of Ukraine, including mobilizing an international humanitarian coalition. And all the while, the humanitarian crisis grows. Aid agencies estimate that the number of Ukrainian refugees could reach 1.5 million this weekend. As Ukrainian cities face a continued Russian siege, Sally Lockwood has the latest on the crisis.
Download a free audiobook with your 30-day trial.
Hi, whatever you want, you crazy cat, dog, moose. We got it.
Did somebody say just eat?
The world has clamoured to show its support for Ukraine. But on the ground, the fight is theirs and theirs alone. Russian forces are now said to be in control of this military base in the southern city of Kherson. President Zelensky seeking to buoy a beleaguered nation as Russian forces advance towards a third nuclear power plant.
Ukraine, which we know, love, protect, and will not give up to any enemy. It is a special heroism to protest when your city is occupied, even temporarily. When you don't have a weapon, and in response you receive gunshots, and you don't run.
The battle overhead remains the most contentious issue. Ukraine claims this video shows a Russian helicopter being shot down. President Zelensky has repeatedly appealed to the US and NATO to establish a no-fly zone. But Putin's latest threat, that this would be viewed as participation in the conflict, has done little to change Western leaders' minds. In a meeting at a Polish border crossing with the US Secretary of State, Ukraine's foreign minister vowed to win this war.
If we lose the skies, there will be much more blood on the ground, and that will be the blood of civilians. And I don't want anyone to share responsibility for their blood.
Ultimately, their strength, their resolve, their determination, backed by the United States and backed by the world, is going to prevail.
A new economic blow to Russia, this time from Visa and MasterCard, suspending their operations in Russia. And a fresh diplomatic attempt from Israel's Prime Minister. In a backdrop of anti-war protests at home, Naftali Bennett flew secretly to Moscow on Saturday for a 3-hour meeting with Vladimir Putin, then on to Berlin for talks with the German Chancellor. For people here in the southern region of Mariupol, escape isn't even an option. Plans for a humanitarian corridor still on hold after Russia violated an agreed ceasefire. But Israel, a country with good relations on both sides, could now prove vital in finding a desperately needed breakthrough. Sally Lockwood, Sky News.
Well, British military intelligence says that